This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome to episode 32 of Too Old to Game. I'm your fear-filled host, Dave Oster, and I'm joined today by the original manager himself, Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
Unfortunately, Mark Weber unable to make it yet again.
Something about a wife and Valentine's Day. Like, who has those nowadays, Dave?
I don't know.
The only Valentine's I have is the people. The people. They are my Valentines because they watch this podcast.
You know what?
They're the only ones I care about.
And if they care about us, they could jump on Patreon and support us even more than they do today.
Seamless, Dave.
I know.
It's a little bit too seamless for you.
Yeah. So if you do want to support us even more than you do already just for watching our videos, you could check us out on Patreon. You can join us. And if you do hit that $10 tier, you can jump on a podcast with us or any one of the podcasts at MVP Network. But let's get into things. It was a busy week. We had a Nintendo Direct. Some big news there. Some comments about a certain game that I've already forgotten the name of.
Death Stranding.
I said it. No, get this. I said it, 6, 7 times before starting this, and I was like...
And your whole thing was, no, I'm going to blend them together. And instead, you forgot it completely.
That's what I do to things. Well, nope. Got the memory of a goldfish at times. So we'll be talking a little bit of Death Stranding. Just some comments came out. We want to kind of hit on that note, but let's get into the juicy meat and potatoes of this Nintendo Direct. Biggest news of the entire Nintendo Direct for me, Final Fantasy VII.
Well, yeah.
But
I saw that and I was
other people have other things, but I'm just going to cover that with just a sprinkling of well done. Well done. It's a great game, and I think that putting it on a mobile platform again, legally, will make people want to play it.
You know what's the thing I like the most, though?
That's it.
They're like, here's Final Fantasy VII. It's going to be on the Switch. You can get it next month.
But,
and here's Final Fantasy IX. You can get it today.
Exactly.
And everyone's like, but I don't want 9. I want 7.
But 9's okay. I played 7, 8, 9, and I think I stopped at 10.
The big joke I heard was, I hear 8's the best. 8 is the best. It's like, really? We're going to take shots at 8?
I thought 8 was pretty fun, too. We should get an 8 at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's super cool that they went out and worked with Square Enix to bring in that game. Such a title. And especially, we're hoping at some point by the year 2025, we get the remake of 7 in 4K,
the
beautiful.
Full remake, just everything.
Absolutely gorgeous pixelation. So, no, I'm hyped because it's something that is like, that's a game that as a commuter, I'm like, well, damn, maybe I do want to go get that.
Dave's like, I could get a Switch, and then I could just play Final Fantasy on the train.
Because I'm on the train a couple hours a day, and that's a beautiful game. And if I can play that mobile, that's
and then when
cool.
we go to VidCon, you can play it on the plane to and from.
It's a lot of hours in that game. There's a lot of, you're getting your money's worth. But for most people, that wasn't the story of the day.
The story of the day was Mark hit us up and was like, oh, they're making Link's Awakening, and they're remaking that game. Count me in on that one, because Mark's whole big thing, and this was, I think, everyone kind of together was like, yes, was the big thing when you saw the Zelda, cinematic was the first thing people were saying was, please don't be for the 3DS.
Yeah, no.
Please don't be another 3DS port.
We were going back and forth on what was next. Is it going to be another?
And that was the thing I thought about, because we talked about them having a Zelda game in development, and I was like, is this it? Is this the one we were talking about? Like, we're just remaking it for the Switch, but it looked great, little cartoony Link on the Switch. That'll become an amiibo, within the next month after it releases. But one of the questions that I saw thrown around that I want to ask you is, with this Link's Awakening, because it's going to the Switch and not the 3DS, is the 3DS dead?
I hope so.
I look at it and go, Nintendo, push everything to the Switch, make that your focus like it should be.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch has just been a colossal success. It's landed hit after hit of release titles. The sales numbers have been incredible throughout the entire time. I think that they absolutely should focus entirely on the Switch and don't worry about the 3DS. It was a great platform, but you know what? The whole 3D gimmick and the double screen, it's cute. But the Switch is your moneymaker. The Switch is the future. The Switch is where you want to go. So, yeah, I think that, and I know it sucks for a lot of people who have 3DSs out there, but it's just I think it's time to really focus in. And I know it's also the developers, but I think Nintendo really do it up. Make the Switch your jam.
And I mean, for me, besides though, like there's one other game that I know we're going to gush about in a second, but the whole thing I want to say just about the Nintendo Direct in general, for me, because I'm not a diehard Nintendo guy, like I like some Nintendo titles. I'm cool with Mario, but I'm not like, oh my God, give me all of this now. Like a lot of this was like, okay, it looks cool. I'm probably not going to play it. Like Super Mario Maker 2, it's cool. You can add slopes. I didn't play 1. It didn't kind of speak to me. Super Smash. Oh, here's an update. What's on it? Oh, wait, you'll see. And I go, really? Really? Just don't tell me about it. Just don't. It didn't need a time here. Box Boy and Box Girl, didn't really know what it was coming in, so it didn't really, like, steal me to play it. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, I was like, that looks cool. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. The thing I will say, although I will not play this game.
Really?
The thing I did find cool with it is, let's say like you, I, Johnny, and Mark all had Switches.
Yep.
What we can do is we can either play at our own individual houses and connect via the Wi-Fi and just play in TV mode, or we can all be together and kind of they put like the 4 together. And you can kind of do it that way, too, where it's like, hey, I'm going to play with this group that I'm with now. I get that's the point of the Switch.
Yeah.
It's kind of the console it's on, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then Link, that's the big one. I will probably get it, although I did not play. I was a little bit too young for the Link's Awakening for the Game Boy Classic. Bloodstain, I was like, Tetris 99, it looked cool. Having 99 other Tetris screens on the screen as you, but I'm not like a diehard Tetris guy.
I think that's a game that a lot of people who partake in certain activities get a real big kick out of.
Like, I would be more excited for Tetris Effect than Tetris 99.
All right.
But that's just me on the VR side. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, I was like, okay, it's a remastered. Fire Emblem, at first I was like, what is
It's Fire
this?
Emblem, man.
It took me a while, because I'm not like, for me, my exposure to Fire Emblem is Super Smash.
Oh, okay.
Like, that is my exposure
So the platform
to
itself,
the Fire Emblem. Hellblade was like, oh, cool, I remember that game from the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Deltarune, I was like, okay, so I haven't played Undertale, so I'm not going to get this game. Although they're not connected unless you're in like some fan theories I saw. Yoshi's Crafted World, I was like, okay, another whatever.
Yeah.
And then the one that I was like, oh my God, give me now was, I'm going to script the name. Is it Daemon Ex Machina? Yes. Is that how you say the first one? Is it Demon? Damon? Daemon Ex Machina, where basically I heard it described as Code Geass, the game. And when I saw it, I was like, all right, here's my money. Just give me that. I'm getting Anthem already, so why not get one that just looks like one of my favorite animes on top of it?
I feel like it is stylistically interesting because this was a game that they just dropped it. They're like, hey, you have basically early access
to. It's funny how they're just doing that now. Apex Legends, we're just going to drop it. Daemon Ex Machina, we're just going to drop it.
Well, this isn't even like this. The full game's not ready. This is the early access to test out. So they're giving you 4 missions, basically. And it is a cool mech game that's kind of cel-shaded animation style. So you get that, JRPG feel to it. I think that, like you said, it kind of reminds me of that Code Geass. It's basically any Gundam spin you want to put on it. I've heard Armored Core thrown around.
Yeah. The stupid ones of like, oh, it's Anthem. No, it's not Anthem.
Just because you're in a metal suit does not make it Anthem.
It doesn't make it Anthem.
But it does look like a fun game, can be pretty quick paced. I think that's the thing, is just there's a lot going on the screen, and a lot of the comments I see feedback wise are, it's got excellent style, but it's not running as smoothly as it should be. It's a little clunky. There's some frame issues. So I think what they've got in its core could be a really fun game. But they need to polish. They need to finish polishing this game up.
Because I like the video that you were, because I saw just what the trailer they threw in to the Nintendo Direct, the one you were watching.
It was 25 minutes of gameplay. Yep.
With the character creation, kind of like I told you, it reminded me of a game that we used to play as kids, Phantasy Star Online. But
that game.
But like you were saying,
we're gonna have an episode on Phantasy Star Online. Episodes
we're
1
just
and 2.
going to talk about our time playing it.
It's going to be a nostalgia episode.
Thank you. I would like that. We should, if we could, if like we got the game and we're able to record gameplay of it.
Oh my God,
that would be amazing. That would be phenomenal.
Remember Boomas?
Yes. Basically taking. Okay, I'm letting you in on the inside joke. It was basically the Homer Simpson. Oh shoot, what was it? It was Homer Simpson, like the something. I can't even remember for the episode. Why am I blanking?
I don't know.
And we took that, hilarious. And it was Boomas, and then basically that was our
game
big joke.
Was so much fun.
Oh man.
I mean that'll get its own episode. We'll come back to that another day. But let's keep on track. This game. Well,
is it Cobras?
Yeah.
I think so.
Cobras.
Cobra. Yeah, but it wasn't that. Okay, never mind.
Not quite the same inflection.
Not the same inflection. But go on. The creation, though, what I was saying is...
The character creation is very similar, stylized.
Didn't you say it's like, I can make this iris red, but I'm going to make this one blue?
And then you can pick scars, and not only can you pick the scar, you can color the scar. It's kind of cool. It adds a little bit of... I think they put a lot of good detail into that because it's a game where you're not in your mech at all times. Yeah. You're going to have some fun combat on the ground. So I'm intrigued. I've got to watch a little more gameplay before I'm 100% sold. But this looks like it could be a good game to get my teeth into because as long as they polish up the frame rate stuff, because that's really going to be super bothersome for a game where you're in a mech and you're flying, you're moving at a fast pace. The animation in combat is kind of big and flashy. So if that gets choppy and kind of drops frames, it's going to be super noticeable. So that's the thing. I'm like, you really need to make sure that's good before we move forward.
And my only thing too, and this goes for with me, any of the games here, even the Link game, is yes, it says like, oh, it's releasing in 2019. When is this thing going to release? That is the question for me because let's just say right now, I have not touched my Switch in like 3 weeks.
Holy cow.
Well, Kingdom Hearts came out.
Yeah,
it's true. Kingdom Hearts came out. I was playing the Anthem demo. Apex Legends dropped, so I dove into that, and I'm actually liking a Battle Royale game for the first time. I just feel like my PlayStation 4 was like, hey, buddy, you know I'm your true love, right? And I was like, I know, you're my true love. That's why I got the Spider-Man one.
There's not enough hours in the day to give every game
I feel
love.
Bad because my Switch stares at me like, hey, your sister bought me for you for Christmas. I know you didn't spend your money on me, but I'm sitting here to where I was like, oh, I should probably play you sometime, but I haven't taken you to the bathroom in some time because it just turned into, hey, Ricky's got to go to the bathroom. He's going to use his Switch when he's not playing his PlayStation. But that is what it's turned into of like, hey, I was playing Red Dead, now I'm playing Kingdom Hearts. And now it's Apex Legends. And then Anthem. Anthem's going to take my time. Division 2, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence on that.
That'll be an impulse buy. So, like, a game like this, I watch it and I go, I could see this being a filler game. Like, I'll be into it. Don't get me wrong. Love it. But I could see, because of, like, the animation style, a total filler game between, like, for example, I just got done with Red Dead, now I'm waiting for Kingdom Hearts to come out. Like, is it going to be in between these huge titles that it comes out and I play it and then I just kind of forget about it?
Ooh. And I was flipping through this thread on Reddit about it. And the Zone of Enders 2 remaster launching later this year, September 6th, it looks like. PS4 and PC remaster. For those of you who didn't get the chance to play Zone of the Enders, it was a fun game back in the day. And if this remaster is anything like what I'm expecting, it's gonna be shiny. And yeah, this might have some competition. But again, this is PS4 and PC, so not quite the same thing. But yet another mech-based game. So if you're into that genre, I would say that.
Are we just going into the mech-based world? Like a lot of games,
Titanfall kind of tripped up.
Titanfall. Now it's like Anthem. Daemon X Machina. If I said that right.
Technically, like Destiny you had suits.
True.
I don't know if that's where you go between a suit and a mech, but yeah.
I mean, it's just like, maybe it's just Anthem, where I just look at it, I'm like, oh, is Anthem starting its own, like, now, Fortnite was, oh my god, we need a Battle Royale mode. Anthem's going to be like, hey, people really like mechs. But, dude, this game doesn't have anything, add a mech. Just add a mech to it.
Nah.
Like, is that what we're getting
I
at
don't
here?
think so. I mean, this is a remake of an old game, and
True.
The other one is that there's been enough games out there similar. So I don't think it's a genre starter, but I think that there's some fun games out there that looks like they're getting a little bit of love now, which is very nice. So I'm intrigued by it. I think that I need to see a bit more polished gameplay before I buy it, but it looks very cool, especially if you enjoy an art style of cel-shaded games. It adds a unique take to the gameplay and gives you a different visual, and one that I honestly appreciate a little bit more at times. I know I've been very praise happy about like Borderlands art style with their cel shading. I think it's a cool, unique toss because you go from
Dave's
like the
like,
hyper
but
realistic.
then I just want Borderlands.
You go from the hyper realistic, stuff of like Red Dead Redemption 2, where it's just like
It's just
the
beautiful.
cinematic, shots of you just walking, riding the horse.
What percentage did you play the game in cinematic mode, Dave? What did you say?
Probably 80-20 cinematic. Every chance I got, I was wide angle camera in that.
Dave's riding to Saint Denis. He's gonna pop on that cinematic mode.
God, I loved it. I think the funniest one was when I was in cinematic mode and I had a dead deer dragging behind my horse tied up, and it was just like I could hear the music playing, and and all of a sudden you just see like the rope going back and just dragging, bouncing. I'm like, something doesn't feel quite right about that. But
the dead horse.
I don't know. Like Spider-Man had great cinematic modes. You got
They also had the photo mode.
The photo mode was very nice. I think that's something that we joked about other games potentially having in the future. So, yeah. No, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Direct, I should say. I think it's a solid B showing.
I like
there's
how
a blockbuster in this one.
I like how they do this though, because I heard on a different podcast that I was listening to, they said the thing is, yes, we didn't get an Animal Crossing. Yes, we didn't get this game, the ones we know, like the Pokemon game, the Animal Crossing. But it's like they're gonna leave those for E3. And now the thing I've always liked about these Nintendo Directs is for somebody like me, I'm not going to nerd out about it because I'm not so far into the Nintendo rabbit hole. Like Link's Awakening.
Yeah. All
right, cool. You piqued my interest a little bit, but I'm not going to go crazy for an Undertale game or Super Mario Maker. Where other people I saw were like, oh my God, did you see? We're going to be able to be Cat Mario. And it's like, I don't really care about Cat Mario. But I like it because it gives those Nintendo fans something to kind of nerd out, geek out about.
Yeah.
And it makes it to where, hey, at E3, at these big showings, we don't have to kind of blow our load and just kind of blow everything. We can focus on the big titles, Animal Crossing, Pokemon. If they want to throw in a big Super Smash, like when they announced Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was coming out, they can do that and not have to have all these kind of little titles and let them kind of get their day, their night in the sun.
Yeah.
Or moon, depending on if it's night. Because you're not going to have sun at night.
Fair enough. But I'd say overall, okay showing. I think above average, but I think these Nintendo, I agree with you. I like the premise of the Direct, and I think that I'm starting to get more hyped up for E3. I know it's a little bit out still. I'm getting a little excited. Getting a little bit excited because they're not giving me what I want at the Direct, so it's just it's coming. Like you said, it's we're saving the big boys.
I think if I'm not mistaken, there will be another Direct before. Like you said, E3 is so far away. We're going to get another one of these.
I feel like it could be close. But
we're going to get one of these Direct. I think, E3 is May? Around May, June area.
It is June 11th.
Yeah. So middle of June. So, we got a little bit. We got what?
What if we go
under
to E3?
half a year? I asked you that question about a month ago, Dave.
I
asked you. I was like, "Oh, VidCon moved to July. Why not go to E3?" And the answer I got was, "We'll see." And I'm still waiting on that. We'll see.
We'll see.
I was like to you and Mark, "Hey, we can go to E3 for the podcast."
I think that could be pretty cool. Let us know if you want to see us live at E3. I think that'd be awesome.
I would love that. Just sitting on a balcony recording a podcast.
That would be so freaking cool. So cool.
Soaking it up in sunny Cali.
I don't know where the money's coming from, but
we'll figure it out.
We'll
figure
see.
it out. We'll
All
put
right.
Brandon on the local corner. He'll let it. Well, he's the one that would make the most money. I would do it, Dave, but I don't know if I could make the most money.
Some people got a thing for bigger guys. I'm just saying, more pushing for the cushion. I can't believe I just said that on podcast. Moving along.
One thing that I just thought of that it wasn't in our cheat sheet, basically our pre-show mental thing, that I'm going to throw out there because I know before the podcast you had mentioned it.
Sure.
I don't know if you have much to talk about it, but if you do, I don't want you to get to the end of the podcast and go, oh my God, I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Activision messing things up.
Yeah, they fired a bunch of people.
Messing things up with Blizzard.
They're making money. They're firing people. They laid off nearly 800 people with the restructuring, which is
restructuring.
Slightly a lot of people. It seemed like an interesting time to do so after, net revenue for the quarter was $2.38 billion, beating their outlook. Net income for the year was $1.8 billion. Compared to the $273 million for 2017. So they've done a pretty good job. A pretty good job. But their stock took a hit after the rumors of the layoffs. And basically it's just been like, what is the future of Blizzard? Because I feel like Activision is just this dark cloud over Blizzard. And I wonder what they're going to do, because it just seems like every time, they're like, oh, we're gonna change things around. We're gonna refocus on, bigger platform delivery, bigger things coming. But so far, all I've seen is some of the best customer people out there who interact with community managers. Some of the best, literally. Like, they are awesome on the forums. They run their own thing. They've been incredibly helpful for years on end.
Kind of playing damage control a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's the engagement, and it makes sure that people have a voice and they feel heard. Those people are the people who got cut, or some of the people who got cut with this last round of layoffs. A lot of them from the WoW forums, who I recognize by name, and I'm like, oh my God, they seriously got rid of you? Like, oh, this does not feel good at all. So no, I just think that one is just a what the fuck are you doing kind of a move, and I'm very curious to see what they're doing next, because if their financials looked in line, then this seems like an overreactive move, unless there's a bigger plan going on that they haven't shown any signs of daylight on. So we made the jokes about them just being money hungry and cutting every corner, and then pushing out mobile games so they could take over like the Chinese marketplace, but I don't know, it just seems like at some point they're going to hit the EA levels of like, look, you're a bad company and everyone knows it. And that concerns me.
Because, like, for me, I look at it where, first off, I'm looking at a Variety article, and they even say in, like, the first paragraph, as it, being Activision, refocuses its efforts into Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Overwatch, Warcraft, Hearthstone, and the Diablo franchises. And already I have numerous kind of thoughts about it. Number one, and this is the unpopular, I'm not going to say opinion, just the unpopular fact of a business-minded person is going to look at this and go, yes, it's 775, 800 people. That's only 8% of the over 9,500 person staff for Blizzard Activision. Yes, but the human side of it, 775 people lost their jobs, which is terrible. The thing I worry about for Activision, with now owning Blizzard, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Overwatch, Warcraft, Hearthstone, Diablo. How many of those are new? They're all older titles.
Goose.
And the thing that I worry about...
Well, the one. They've got one upcoming title that looks super good, and that's Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That was one that they went all out for during E3 last year.
And that's what I wonder, where how many of those new titles are we going to get? Because if they're just going to focus their efforts into these, Call of Duty pumps out a game every year. Yes, it's successful,
cash,
but it's got its core market. Like, you're not going to get anyone who wasn't a Call of Duty.
You're the Fortnite to whatever else in life.
Then you've got, to me, Overwatch, where, yes, Overwatch is cool. Overwatch has its core community. But the thing is, like, me as a player, I don't remember the last time I picked up Overwatch.
But
because
the people who are hooked are so hooked,
and they
print their own money every holiday because
that's
it's new
the thing,
skins,
where
new stickers, new everything.
Will it be enough to kind of leech off of these communities? But also, you got to look at the Diablo community, how they royally pissed off that community.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that.
By doing what you said they wanted to do, though, is try to, here's a mobile game, let's try to get into that Chinese market.
What was the line? It was what? Don't you guys have phones?
Yeah, don't you guys have phones?
So few words could do so much damage.
So that's actually funny, though, because I'm going to put this together. Says that line where you're like, wow, that is not the thing to say to your fans. Who's the jobs they cut? The people that know how to talk to the fans.
Yeah, that was absolutely brutal. Like I can't think of a much more diehard user base than Diablo fans because they've been through so much for so long. Excuse me. And just kind of roll with it. And like the game itself.
I'm gonna start calling you Barney Gumble.
I can't help it. I needed it. But the game itself is a grind, and it's just like you're grinding for grinding's sake, and it's fun, and they kept it interactive. But the Diablo 3 was a turd on release, and a critically acclaimed turd at that. Like everyone knew it. So I think that's the thing is we've been through the worst. They've improved the game. They listened to the community. They've built it up. They've made better feedback. They've given us better things to do. But you can't turn the corner when we're all expecting Diablo 4 and be like, fucking, here's a reskin mobile game. Like, so the fact that they're pinning up Diablo as a, one of their titles that they're really focusing on, I'm very curious because it's a game that hasn't gotten enough love in my mind. It's a game that they've just kind of let go because it's like a notch above Heroes of the Storm game franchise, or the game that they've pretty much killed at this point. They've ended.
I was just going to ask, didn't they kill that game?
It's still live, but they're no longer putting future development time towards it, which means
eventually it'll be like Marvel Heroes, where it's like a few years down the line, and today's the day where we're shutting down the servers,
which is a bummer because it was like an approachable MOBA. Like I know the MOBA generation it's now pretty much at its end with Dota 2 and League of Legends being the only survivors. But it was still a fun game, and it was just, you get the fun interactions of here's all these heroes from Blizzard franchises across the board interacting and doing, cool stuff. And I thought it was a fun game. It was very frustrating at times because teammates and communication, but like,
well, it was any game. Like I play Apex and I hate my teammates half the time.
This was just an entry level MOBA to me, and I was like, it was a good game. Like it didn't deserve to die, but it didn't get as much love as they had hoped for. Everybody else was doing their franchising and we're gonna have tournament scenes and all this stuff. League of Legends has theirs. Overwatch, just dumped a bunch of money into theirs to have their own competitive series. Here's a Storm, they tried to kick it off. They just didn't get the viewership and the sponsors. So lost property, but it was a fun one when it lasted. So,
and I mean, it's just, for me, it's going to be interesting where they go from here. Because on a number side, like I said, it's not a huge amount. It's not like they laid off half the company.
No.
And are like, oh my God, we're going bankrupt. But like at the same time, where's that direction going to go? And like, for me, I think about, I look at Overwatch. When Overwatch came out, it was like, what is this? Like, it was...
Oh, I knew what it was.
With me, I had heard about Bloodborne first.
Yeah, you were on that weird other side.
I was like, oh my God, this looks cool. Like, it's a 2K game. I think it was 2K, I think it was Gearbox.
It was.
So, like, I'm like, oh, the makers of Borderlands. Oh my God, this is awesome. And then I was like, wait a second. Overwatch. Like, this was at the time when Mike Rankin was still here.
Yeah. And
he was really into Overwatch. And he's like, oh, we got to download the beta. We got to play the beta. And we played the beta.
Yep.
And I was just like, the more I played, I was like, oh, this is a better version of that game. Oh, wow. Wish I didn't waste my money on that game. Because now I'm going to be playing Overwatch a whole ton more.
Yeah, had that game been released at a different time, there's a chance it would have been semi-successful.
Yeah.
But because the timing lined up overwhelmingly with Overwatch.
Because I went all out for battle. I got like the special edition with like the little figure.
Yeah.
Got the little figure of my favorite character, the little heavy machine gun guy that can shoot the fire bullets or the ice bullets. I thought it was really cool.
I think the game itself was cool, but
some of the character, like the robot McCree,
Yeah.
basically is what he was dubbed. But I mean, he was kind of cool. But I played Overwatch and I was like, you know what? There's more people here. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. The only thing that Battleborn had that was different was a playable campaign.
Yeah.
But do you need that? Like, Overwatch gave you the story without saying, hey, here's a campaign you gotta play.
Overwatch gave you the story outside of the game, though. That was the nice thing. It was like, here's your shorts. Here's your comic series, basically.
Hey, we're going to release this trailer. Yeah. Oh, wait, it's a short introducing this character instead of just giving you gameplay.
I think that's, So, again, they've done a great job with that series, or with Overwatch in general. So, I mean, yes, they've got their money makers. I mean, Blizzard obviously knows what World of Warcraft is and isn't. I hope at this point they're going back to vanilla for a cash grab, which is so happy.
Dave's like, I'm fine with it because I'm gonna play it.
That's totally cool with me. Your most recent game sucks, so like, let's just go back and when you did it right.
You talking about the latest expansion?
Yeah.
You don't like it? Is that why you ended up quitting, or you just get bored with the game, Dave? Or does that kind of go hand in hand?
A little bit of A and B. It was like the fact that they try to make it so much incentivized to play daily to do all of these things.
Where you're like, I just don't have that time anymore.
I just want to log in and raid and hang out with friends. If I could do that, I would totally be playing. And it's funny because I'm going back to vanilla to be like, I want to grind for days and days and days. And then after all those days, I'll be like level 44. Yeah. And I'm not even close to end game.
44? You're getting a little ambitious, Dave. You're going to get to 30.
I said days and days.
No. I'm saying you're going to get to 30 and then go, I'm bored with this character. I want to play this class.
No, I've learned my lesson. I think I know what class I'm going for vanilla. But
or Dave will get that one max level and then have a ton of others. It's like, this guy's 26. But this guy I got to 44.
That's exactly. There's going to be 7 of them that are all non-max level.
This one, Dave, this one's only level 5. Yeah, I didn't like that character that much.
But I mean, that's the thing. That's vanilla WoW. It holds such a nostalgia clutch on my heart that I can't wait to go back. So at least they're going to have their money there.
And then Dave builds a level 19 that he decks out with the cutlass. What was it? The cutlasses from Dead Mines.
There's the
Shadow Fang. The Shadow dagger from Shadow Fang Keep.
I can't remember. I know what it was. Yeah, I say it was level 19. It was the best one-handed weapon for any melee or hunter. Hunters with swords. That's right. Back in the day.
Shadow Fang.
Shadow Fang. Yeah. Was it just Shadow Fang?
Yeah, I looked it up right now.
Yeah. I mean, that was the good old days. Or if you were broke, you just end up with a Blackwater Cutlass. Good times. Good times. I don't know where we ended up, but Blizzard basically...
I don't know how we got on WoW.
You fired a bunch of people. You're not reliant. You're resting on your laurels. Let's hope they come up with a big game changer as far as if they do decide to do a Diablo 4, if they do something even better than vanilla WoW. Take those properties and bring them to the next level. But right now, the people you lost, I am a little bit afraid of the future direction. Obviously they weren't integral pieces, but I think they were the pieces that had a high visibility to the public. And from the people that I talked to, and the game managers, that meant a lot because those were people who everybody's had conversations with too. Yeah,
like you said, you recognized them by name. That means they were doing their job. Dave.
I knew Blue Post from these people, and I was like, oh, I can trust this person. It's disappointing. I hope there's the good thing is they're good people, and I know that a lot of them will find jobs with other gaming companies, and because of their work they've done previously, they're well known. So. Hopefully things end on the best for them. Blizzard, I don't know what Activision's doing to you, but hopefully you figure it out. Let's end it on a fun note. Okay. Death Stranding. This game is a game that I think we all watched and went, what the hell? Fuck is this? Norman Reedus, weird baby thing. Creepy fucking what am I supposed to be knowing?
There's like shadow things that you're walking through.
Lots of confusion. So coming out of that, we've now gotten some more commentary from people around the game and in the scene. So Ricky, why don't you run us through that?
Yeah, I kind of got 2 here. So the first one is from, and I know that some people might have the thought of like, I know you had mentioned this kind of jerkishly, but some people do think of this as like, why should I take your opinion seriously? You're a movie director, not a gaming guy. But the director of, it's going to be the Metal Gear Solid movie, his name is Jordan Vogt Roberts. He basically came out with a long tweet where he said that They let them play the game. The world is next level immaculate. It's like freebasing pure Kojima and Shinkawa. Remember when Fury Road blew you away, but also made you, in the best, most thankful way, ask, what the fuck? How does this miracle exist? You.R.not.ready. You are not ready. All in caps with periods in between them.
That's a lot of hype because, like, I'm just going to dissect that a little bit. At the end, when he mentions Fury Road, I think my reaction after that movie was, it was like I drank a can of Red Bull. I was just excited and I didn't know what to do with it.
So much energy.
I was like, that was fucking awesome. The guitar with the flamethrowers and then the explosions and then and it was just like all this excitement for this movie.
Are you sure Red Bull, or did you mean like cocaine?
Maybe cocaine. But like that was the thing. It was just, you know, the movie was just action packed and there was never a time to take a breath. And I think that you know, having that feeling of like this is so cool and I'm so enthralled in it, like Kojima and all this stuff is like, okay, I get it. You know, if it's everything you say it is, everyone in the world will be blown away by this game. But you also have a job to do to sell not only this game, but also your movie coming. So how much am I going to believe that this is a game changer, Ricky?
Well, and I mean, the other thing is that obviously Norman Reedus is going to talk about it because he's in the game.
Yeah.
He spoke with Metro, and he said that the concept is so far out into the future, instead of eliminating everyone around you, it's bringing everyone together. It's a very positive video game, but scary and depressing at the same time. It's kind of a new movie. I've never seen anything like what we're doing. And then the article here from GameSpot just says, overall, Rita said Death Stranding is a crazy complicated game, but trailers and information about the title released thus far do not fully encapsulate what Death Stranding is, it seems. And
so no one can seem to kind of put this thing into a bottle of what is Death Stranding.
But I like that because obviously they like the big thing that we fall into now is I'm going to relate it to movies because we had the movie director make comments about it. Think back to a movie, and I know this is a comedy, so it's kind of like, oh, there wasn't a huge story, it didn't blow you away. Down to Earth by Chris Rock. Came out when we were kids. And you would watch the trailer for that movie, and there were so many funny lines in that trailer. You'd watch the movie, those lines were not in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, they just hit the cutting room floor, and they just used them in the trailer. Nowadays, with video games, with movies, it's like, I want to know the game, everything about it coming in, because we've become, I feel, more of like, I want to know what I'm buying.
Oh, well, we've become much more well-informed.
Exactly. We've been burned so much to where it's like, I am not spending, and it could also be, you know, value of the dollar and how things have changed since we were kids. But like now it's like, unless I know exactly what I am getting, I'm not going to spend that $60 on a video game.
That's true.
The thing I like with Death Stranding is for a guy like me, they've enticed me. Like that what the fuck feeling that he was talking about, I had that feeling watching that trailer. Like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
All right, this is weird.
It's like Norman Reedus. Like, it was weird because I kind of got the I Am Legend vibe from Norman Reedus.
Exactly.
And the whole, like, Dave. I'm trying to, you know, it's about bringing people together. So I'm like, okay, something's terrible has happened clearly because we're in this state. So we kind of got dropped into the middle of something, which is great. Because I like being in the, I don't, you know, it's different when you have to walk through something, but you can Tarantino it. You can go back forward, or you can just drop me right in the middle of a storyline and a world. That makes it feel more like it's alive. It's breathing. It's not something that I just turned on today. So I'm very intrigued by the whole aspect of you're bringing people together. It's a survival game. There's some high tense situations, I feel. So I'm super intrigued. I think this is a game that I'm probably going to experience through someone else, though. I'm either going to Twitch stream it or I'm going to do a Let's Play. I don't think this is a game that necessarily hits my gaming vibe, but it's definitely a game that I'm going to enjoy because if a movie director who's doing the Metal Gear Solid series is telling me, you know, this is, what was the word he used for it?
Immaculate.
Immaculate or a miracle?
Yeah, he said that's, so he said it was a How does this miracle exist?
Yeah. So if he's saying that, it's something that I can enjoy, even if the gameplay isn't amazing, which who knows, it may be. But the storytelling, the visuals, the sound, everything about it, that's what intrigues me to it. I'm all about the whole picture kind of a person. So
Well, because I'm rewatching the E3 trailer right now. And the thing that I think of, and this is from hearing Norman Reedus say that, oh, it's sad and depressing, is I see these, he's got a picture of what looks like a family. I am 100% sure now that Norman Reedus' character lost his family.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the saddest part of this game. It kind of like hits me like a Last of Us kind of a thing, where for someone like you said you're going to watch it through somebody else.
right.
Me, this is right up my alley. I have to experience this because like even Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
I didn't play Red Dead Redemption 1, but like 2 totally like I was into it.
Yeah.
After it took me the first chapter, get out of the snow.
Yeah,
and then
it
I'm
was a little
into
slow to the start, but man, did I appreciate that game.
Even like God of War, I was into, like totally into the game. The Last of Us, I was totally into that game. This is going to do the same. And to hear that it's immaculate, to hear that it's a miracle, it just wants me to play. Like, usually you'd hear that about a game and go, oh, I'm kind of nervous about it.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a game that had a cult following, oh, I'm nervous. But I think it's because we don't know a lot about it. I don't want to know more about it. I don't want to see like trailers that tell me more about the story.
So it's like bizarre. So, because I want to kind of pull this off to the side, I'm going to tangent us because we great with tangents. It's like the opposite of Cyberpunk 2077 then, because that's a game where it was like they showed us the first 20 something minutes of gameplay.
Don't
or
show me
50 minutes almost.
Don't show me anything near that. And like that is different because that game is so long. This game could be long as well, but like I feel like if you tell me more and more about the story, it's going to take away from my experience because the whole thing of what he said in his tweet, and this is Walt Roberts, the director now, he said, you ask what the fuck? That moment that he saw the Mad Max movie, don't take that away from me with this. If he's having that moment by playing it, let me have that moment.
Yep.
Don't give it away basically within the trailers.
Yeah.
That's what I would say for it.
And I think that's a note we'll end on today. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Too Old to Game. We appreciate you. We appreciate the love you give. And if you want to give us more love,
hopefully Mark will be here next week.
Mark hopefully will be here next week. I was going to say, if you want to give us more love, check us out on Patreon. Check us out on iTunes. Check us out on anything else.
Check us out everywhere.
Everywhere.
We're everywhere, Dave.
Everywhere.
You could type Dave Oster into Google and you'll pop up.
That's terrifying. On that note, have a good one, everybody.